Who hates Prodigy more? Kevin Jones for not letting him let the frisbee fly, or Isaac Robinson for costing him the win? Or that was just the double on 13. But here at the Disc Golf World, we got you covered with everything you need to know from the Preserve Championship. And yeah, we slept at the course and are recording it here. It's just what we do. I'm Jefferson, and alongside me, the one with all the holes in his game, Swiss Cheese. But before we get into the recap, the boys were back at the event, and man, did it feel good. Mostly because we were at the press conference and I got to see Mr. KJ USA throwing his new Innova team stamp discs. I didn't want to get caught in the middle of some drama about breaking that news, so I left you guys with this cryptic tweet. Then for round one, you know we had to check out what he was going to do. He started off the day with the jacket on, and right when I decided to stop following his card and watch something else quick, well, turns out that's when he would take his top off and reveal the Innova shirt underneath. Honestly, one of the cooler sponsorship announcements I've seen. Well, that would be if the audio worked. DGPT kind of messed up on that one. And if I'm being real, if I was Innova, I'd be asking for some money back if they had to pay anything for that missed opportunity. I guess it got people talking, which is half the battle. Of course, KJ has the classics in the bag, including an already seasoned rock, putting with AVRs like every other 60-year-old, and slinging the boss for most forehand bombs. I had the opportunity to talk to my homie Davis over at Stash Discs, which is essentially the coolest disc golf thrift store out there.
Stash Discs here, we got big mix of new and used together. We carry pretty much every brand. We do buy, sell, trade. We love dealing with the pros. It's awesome for us to give them tools to make money with. Paul Oman, on his way through to Emporia, Kansas, he stopped in with Dana Vici and said that maybe I was interested in getting some stock out of Dana's basement. So Dana put me a nice 30 sleeve together of fresh Paul Macbeth 4 times, and Paul brought them to me here, and they've gone like hotcakes. He knew we had some good used stuff over here, came up and we're checking out some stuff. Ended up taking a nice 10 or 15 disc stack of some old school Paul Macbeth 4 times, some Domi Champ bosses, some new Big Germ Halo bosses. I mean, the kind of drivers you want in your bag. Absolutely crushing them from right here at the booth, out onto the practice field, out onto the driving range. Brand new, straight out of the box. Perfect flip for them. Told us a couple we're going to be making the bag for today. Couldn't be better for either one of us.
If you're at a tour stop, go find yourself Stash Discs. They were able to hook me up with these 4-time Macbeth destroyers. But apparently, we aren't homies enough to give me the pro discount. But I won't be too salty. One of my favorite things is seeing the history behind discs in pros' bags because it seems like they get cycled around quite a bit, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. Drew Gibson also spoke up on the matter over on X, pointing out the hypocrisy in Prodigy's decision to sue Gannon Burr when he was trying to better his situation while they terminate KJ for his recent performances. Granted, we don't know the entire story, and from what we've heard, it's best for all parties and how it ended. Sounds messy. I do gotta give Drew some benefit of the doubt, because we knew about this over a week ago, so I'm sure he has more context than the keyboard warriors in his comment section. All I know is, Prodigy lost one damn good DJ. I still got forehand, backhand, boom, stuck in my head from last night. That joke hits a lot harder when you're writing the script for this video in the parking lot of Hutchville with Jim Leahy trying to sneak into your minivan. Did I mention I love being back on tour? Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see the Disc Golf World of the Des Moines Challenge. One more thing to mention before Switz gets into the FPO recap. It's funny that I can only assume Prodigy got rid of KJ since his disc sales weren't cutting it to keep Isaac and Ezra Robinson. What they didn't put into account was their baskets being the one thing in the way of Isaac claiming his first victory of the year. And when your sponsored player is seen on coverage saying your baskets suck, it's not a good look. It's got to be a problem when the people you pay don't even talk good about the product. Should be a sign to anyone still goofy enough to be throwing that stuff. Hold on to that thought for the MPO recap. But first, Swiss has the FPO covered.
Bear with me, I'm still groggy from the stay over in Hutchville. A night filled with live music, with the pros filling in on the instruments like a ragtag Chuck E. Cheese band. More than one too many craft beers, putt-putt, and a surprisingly Casey White Elton John cover. You guys go ahead and comment below what track you believe it is while I get to the FPO action. Despite a dire forecast, the weather on Friday was clear enough for Missy to put together the hot round of the tournament with a bogey-free 10-under round. The round capped off with one of the stronger finishing back halves, with her going 7 under while birdieing 3 of the most difficult holes on the course during that stretch. Not far off was Holland Hanley, who would finish only 2 strokes off of Gannon as the two would battle over the entire weekend, becoming the overwhelmingly storyline coming from the FPO action. Holland, fresh off her first Elite Series victory, looking to stack wins and elevate her to an elite status on the season. A second victory and a back-to-back win in the absence of Evelina and Tatar would build on an already impressive season thus far, and in many fans' eyes, skyrocket her to an elite status. On the other side, Missy, the KG vet who plays within her game and allow the chips to land where they may, as she has steadily climbed to the elite status with multiple wins in some of the most pressure-packed scenarios the FPO has seen. Day 2 had Holland not only close the 2-stroke gap, but take a lead after starting with 5 birdies on the first 7 holes. Missy would go on a birdie run of her own, and after some Holland late bogeys, would have both finish the round 5 under, while Missy retained a 2-stroke advantage heading into the final day, setting the stage for the two to battle it out for what was the best weather conditions of the entire weekend. Missy, who has yet to lose with a lead heading into the final day, going 5 for 5 in that stretch, and a motivated Holland who looks to further stamp her presence as one of the best FPOs on the season, all in front of one of the largest crowds the FPO division has seen all season. Holland came out strong and with confident play, as Missy on the other side would have her slowest front 9 of the weekend. Holland closed that 2-stroke gap quickly by the 5th hole, only for her to take the lead outright the very next hole. Credit needs to go to Missy, who despite the slow start took advantage when opportunities allowed, keeping the action close as she would tie the match on the very next hole, only to head to 8, where Holland would have one of the worst spit-outs over the entire weekend. Less like that Haktua meme and more like that dip spittle that hangs a little too long on the lip before entering a Mountain Dew bottle. But like every spit out, will be dissected by some vet making an excuse of it being too high or not enough touch or whatever other reason instead of demanding for better baskets. Man, I'm just tired of watching pros not rewarded due to equipment. Then later having to be told they failed instead of the baskets. Holland would compose herself and birdie 9, giving herself a lead heading into the back half. And after a bogey from Missy on 13, had many believing she would finish back-to-back, only for her to crumble late yet again over the next 2 holes, as this is becoming a trend. Her throws bleeding off the fairways, needing to pitch out 2 straight holes, resulting in a bogey on 14 for a huge 2-stroke swing, giving Missy the lead outright, only for Holland to double the very next hole to extend Missy's lead even further to 3 strokes, all but sealing Missy for her 3rd victory of the season. As the battle ended in a whimper. Some other notable play over the weekend, Rebecca Cox's final day 5 under moved her atop the podium for the first time on the season. Rebecca is quietly having a very solid season. She is now finished in the top 10 at every DGBT Elite Series event since Texas State's. Speaking of top 10 finishes, Kona Montgomery got her first top 10 performance since she was Kona Panis at an elite event or major since 2022.
Beth at 69.
I just told myself, you got to will this one in there. Whatever you have, just will it in there.
This man is unbelievable. This is what athletes live for. This is the moment.
Over on the MPO side, Corward Dolan made all those people complaining about birdie or die disc golf cringe by starting the day 10 down through 11. Ended in a tie at the top of the tournament hot round of 14 under. Ben Callaway and Kyle Klein would also match that score, but it would be Kyle to take possession of the lead after day 2. With Isaac 1 stroke back and defending champ Ricky Wysocki not too much farther away. The final round started with Isaac taking control by hole 3, but on hole 5, everyone knew this was going to be a race. Matty O did his best to be a part of it, going on an 8-hole birdie stretch, but slowed down with the pack of pars, although I'm sure he's not complaining about a 3rd place finish. Okay, Isaac might be complaining a bit, but if he thinks back to the spitouts before the mishap on hole 13, we call that selective remembering. Because in this situation, a double bogey would be nearly impossible to recover from. But no, he definitely should not have laid that up. Yes, from a score perspective it hurts, but this has to be mentally one of the hardest things to come back from. Even more so than the one he smacked off the band. After, whatever you want to call that, Kyle was in the driver's seat with the lead and 5 holes to play. Would get another stroke on Ricky the next hole, extending his lead and what looked like a sure win. That was until the spit out on hole 15. Some might say the putt was to the left, others would say it was low for some reason, but the smart people say, these baskets suck. Isaac words, not mine. Don't sue me, Prodigy. All Kyle's momentum would be gone, as I swear he had slow Mobius on his putts after that. Felt like the nerves got the best of him here, and unfortunately, that would just continue. Ricky escaped without losing any ground, and quietly, after the birdie on hole 16, Isaac would put himself back in the mix. And with Klein missing another putt he should have made, and then bogeying 17. All Ricky had to do was not mess up, and that's something he does on this track pretty well. Even Luke Humphreys, what we watched in hole 18, said Ricky would eagle this 9 out of 10 times. And guess what? That one he doesn't is only because he laid up for birdie on 18 to still win by 1 stroke. Ricky might not have led in a single stat, rather did everything great and consistently. That's what it takes to win tournaments. More importantly was how he can compose himself in these stressful situations. He thrives while Kyle and Isaac, while still accomplished in their careers, are still young when it comes out to closing tournaments. And let's be real, and who is a scarier player chasing you down besides the dude doing high knees at you? Rounding out the top 5, you had Gannon Burr, who keeps adding to this year's resume, and Luke Taylor, who you guys should watch out for on this Midwest stretch. Now for some weekend quick hitters. This is the 4th event this season that Paul McBeth hasn't cashed in, and with that $10K going to Ricky, inches him even closer to the all-time cash list. Too bad all of it's going to Dogecoin. Austin Hannum called his pregnant wife fat. Just felt like that 100 IQ burn needed to be shared. Ella Hansen shows off the baseball sponsorships over at the Preserve. Shout out to the homie Connor O'Reilly for hanging out at the B&B for the week and sharing all your wisdom about bonsais. We played a doubles match over on his channel, so go check out the front 9. But here's what you guys really wanted to see.
You're probably here because you just saw that 2-stroke swing Drew and I pulled on Connor O'Reilly. Now, back 9, Preserve, brought to you by Microsoft Teams. Let's get it, boys. I guess I should show you.
Hey, we got Connor O'Antala here now for the back 9, so watch out. I'm Drew.
And that's everything you need to know from the Preserve Championship. Shout out to everyone who came up and said what's up. We really appreciate all you guys. Just like everyone on the Patreon that allows us to keep doing what we love. Without you, there's no disc golf world.